Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Bobbie and this is Bobbie Reads Tarot, and today we are going to do a much highly requested 2025 Astro House tarot reading for former First Lady Michelle Obama. And half of you are about to love me and half of you are about to hate me, because for this reading we are going to use the very divisive gold tarot deck. I know some of you guys say it's so hard to see, and I know that it can be, but it's so beautiful and so elegant, and we're going to use it for her. Okay. And I always get tons of questions of people asking me where to get these cards. There is a link in the description box down below. Open it up, click on the link. The link goes to my website, bobbiereads.com. If you go to my website, there is a page that has pictures of all of the different decks I use, and you just click on it and it'll take you to the link where you can buy it for yourself, okay? So you don't even have to enter anything or search anything. You can just click links all the way to the decks themselves where you can purchase them, all right? As always, my readings are for entertainment purposes only. Again, that is entertainment purposes only. Please form your own opinions, do your own research, all that good stuff. Also, I'm a human, so I have biases. Biases are normal. Now, I don't let the biases affect how I interpret the cards. Now, will you hear my opinion and my biases? Absolutely. But will it affect the message I give you when it comes to what the cards are saying? No. Okay, so I want to make that clear too. Okay. Now that we have all the business out of the way, let's look at Michelle Obama and see what her 2025 is going to look like. Okay, so as always, I'm going to deal out the cards and then we will go through the meanings of each one. Okay, so we have the first house, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. Okay. So the first card that we're looking at over here is the general energy of 2025 for Michelle Obama. And what she has is the Ace of Swords. The swords are ideas that are coming through, okay? The Ace of Swords is going to be success, clarity, overcoming something. So I do see her having a very clear 2025 where she's going to, I feel like she's going to be really focused and know exactly where she's going. She's going to have like a mission. She's going to know exactly what she needs to do, and she's just going to do it. So we're going to see her very driven, very determined, and very focused. I feel like her energy is going to be incredibly focused for 2025. Okay, so the first house in astrology is all about the self. So it's how you see yourself. It could be the self that you present to the outside world, but it's all about self. And Michelle has the sun reversed. This is kind of interesting. So the sun reversed talks about needing to be more dynamic, needing to, like, that would be the challenge. So if this is coming up, it's in the personality. It's like you need to be a more dynamic person. This is talking about maybe feeling a little disoriented. So I feel like she, her mother recently passed away, and I'm wondering if that maybe still has her off her game a little bit, but I think she's a little disoriented into where she's like trying to figure out what she wants next. What does she really want? Does she want to go into politics? Does she want to go into advocacy? Does, like she's trying to figure out what exactly it is that she needs to do, but it's something where she needs to be able to also express her dynamic personality, because she has that in her, but she's not able to channel that out of her body. So it's becoming stifled. So we might see her, struggle a little bit with that in 2025. The next card we have is for the second house. The second house is all about your resources. It's about your possessions. It's about your financial resources. And she has the Nine of Wands reversed. The Nine of Wands reversed is being very depleted, having to battle, having strong opposition. I'm wondering if there's going to be some kind of an issue with their finances. Now, I can't see them having like financial issues. If I see this, I think I don't know. This is again tinfoil hat time, guys. I feel like this would be a bigger situation. A lot of people have been predicting a financial crisis, like a large financial crisis. So I feel like it's more of that energy where it's like this it's strong opposition that's having an effect on their resources. So this could be stuff that's going on externally that's impacting them. That's really interesting. I wonder if that's going to happen. They've been saying for a while that the value of the US dollar is plummeting. We have Trump threatening the BRICS nation or BRICS countries if, they do their trading in anything other than the US dollar. He's going to, add 100% tariff, which is just, oh my God, it's terrible. So this could be an indication of things that are to come for all of us as a country financially in 2025. It's going to be, that's rough. That's rough energy. Okay, so we're going to move on to the third house. The third house talks about communication. It's the house of your thoughts. It can be the house of the thoughts that you have inside your mind, like when you have those conversations inside your head with yourself. It can be that. This can also be how you communicate with other people. Okay, so this is just all about different types of communication. And Michelle has the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords talks about strong opposition. So I feel like she's very much going to be standing up against things that are not right. So I see her stepping up this year to be like a voice of reason. I think she's going to be taking on things that are happening politically in the US, and she's going to be standing up against it, speaking out against it, and trying to get people to see what's really going on. I just feel like she's ready for battle. She wants to protect the nation. And so she's ready to do the hard work. She's ready to do what it takes. We've got a lot of there's a lot of fighting in here. And swords, it's interesting. A lot of, yeah. Okay, let's keep going. So next we have the fourth house. The fourth house is the house of family. It could be the home. And what she has is the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is about ambitions, contracts. I feel like this is very much referring to her girls and what her girls are going to be doing in 2025. I'm feeling like they have that Page of Swords energy. They're going to very much be striking out on their own, and Michelle's going to be very much supporting them. That's going to be the focus of her family life and her home life, is going to be just, watching the girls transition from young women, into like still young women, but like more mature young women. And seeing what they decide to do, like making that transition from being in school to adulthood. What is that going to look like for them? I think that that's really the energy of their family life, is really centered around around watching that, and the celebration of watching the girls become women and decide what they want to do with their life they're really celebrating it. It's good energy for their family. The next house is the fifth house, and the fifth house is the house of passion. It's the house of pleasure. It's finding those things that excite you, those things that you can get passionate about. And she has the Three of Swords. I feel like she's still in a lot of grief over the loss of her mother, and she could be in grief over the election and what's going on with the nation. I think that there's a lot of things going on with her where she's feeling a lot of heartbreak. She's probably having a very difficult time figuring out what she is passionate about, where her passions lie. And there's, other things that she has to work through. She has to work through that grief. And I think a lot of like focusing on the girls is something that brings her joy, and it like heals her heart. So I think that that's why she's so like celebratory over them and what they're doing, because it's something that gives her heart some fullness after the heartbreak that she's had to go through. Okay, so the next house we have is the sixth house, and the sixth house is the house of health and occupation. And this is the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups is about loss, sadness, it can be mourning, and it can be regrets. So there could be something going on with feeling loss or sadness over occupation. And I'm wondering if this is referring more towards what's going on with the country as far as, Obama's no longer president, obviously, and we have a new president-elect coming in. And I think that there's just this like grief over all of the hard work and what could potentially happen to it in the next 4 years. So I think that that's weighing incredibly heavy. I really feel like what's happening in the world and then the loss of her mother, it's just so heavy on her, which, my gosh, that makes sense, right? Okay, so now we're going to move on to the seventh house. And the seventh house is the house of love and partnerships and romance. And she has the Ace of Cups reversed. This can be a block. She may be having a hard time connecting on that level because of the heartache that she's experienced this year. But I do feel like it's still being offered. The love and support is still there. It's still being offered. So even though she might be having a hard time making those connections due to the grief that she's still dealing with, it's still being offered constantly. So she's always being given this offer of love and support. And even though her cup's upside down and everything's, spilling out, it's still constantly being filled up. So it's a really good energy. But I do think it's going to be a little bit, her heart is just really heavy. I'm really getting that feeling that we're looking at like a very, very heavy heart. Okay, so the eighth house is the house of changes to come. And we have the Death card reversed. This is the end of a cycle. This is all about transformation. There's going to be a huge transformation because you have a transformation card in the house of change and transformation. So there's going to be something huge now. I think it's going to be a change for the worse, not for the better, because if this were going to be a change for the better, we would have had like the Wheel of Fortune card, okay, or perhaps the World card. But having the Death card reversed, I feel like this is going to be a major change that's going to happen, but it is not going to be for the better. It is going to be for bad. It's a really heavy energy there. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the ninth house. And the ninth house is the house of philosophy. It's the house of your spirituality, and it's the house of your knowledge. And she has the Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles is someone who is really, really stable, really scholarly, someone who's very smart, someone who has knowledge to offer. And this is in her her house of knowledge and spirituality. So I think she is going to be offering up these like little gems to other people. Like she's going to use that gift to help other people. So it could be like just through perhaps leadership. It could be through just speaking and motivating people. But she has these very valuable nuggets of information and knowledge that she's going to start dispensing, and that's what the world needs from her right now, because people need to hear what she has to say. There's some really important things that she can share that would be of great value. And this talks about also things when we have the pentacles. This pentacles can either be money or health. So the things that she wants to talk about too can also be things that are for your money, to better your financial situation, to better your health. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. So now we're moving on to the 10th house. And the 10th house is the house of social status, career, or ambitions. And we have the Devil card. And this is really interesting, an interesting card that came out. So the Devil card is about manipulation. It's about temptation. It's about needing to overcome being materialistic. And this is the house of career and ambitions. So as much as everyone loves Barack and Michelle, and I love them too, there could be some nefarious undertones or some nefarious connections that exist. Okay, I'm just going to put that out there. Now, I know a lot of people aren't going to want to hear that. I'm sorry. Don't come for me. It's just the cards. And this is a good example of when people say, that I'm biased and that my readings are affected by my biases. No, they're not, because I would prefer not to say this. I would prefer to keep Michelle and Barack in like the nice little view that I have of them, because I have a nice view of them. But, you don't get where you're going without making some deals. And there were deals that were made. There are some not great connections. I mean, it's just, there's so many gatekeepers on the during the political process that it is very difficult for people who are not vetted and approved to get through. So, especially with a man of color, the first, president of color, that had to be really hard. So, how did he get through that process? I do think that there's some probably untoward connections, partnerships, I'm sure, with lobbyists and things like that. I mean, that's just part of politics, but I do find that really interesting that that's in the house of career and ambition. So there's some partnerships that are, I don't know, that are a little devious, let's say. All right, let's move on to the 11th house. This is the house of friendships, the house of community, and the house of allies. She's going to have a rough 2025. There's going to be a lot of infighting. I'm wondering if the Democratic Party is going to kind of start to fight within itself over what's happening. This could be stuff coming out about her and Barack too, which is so crazy because I would have not thought that. But this could be them. This is fighting within their community. This is fighting with allies. I mean, the Five of Wands, you can see this. This is a card of battle, exclusion. This is a card of, these people are thunking each other. It's competition, it's rivalry, it's strong opinions. Yeah, we might see some breaking up of the ranks, like people having opinions that are differing from like other people within the Democratic Party. We might start to see some splits. We're seeing it a little bit with Bernie. Bernie's had enough, and Bernie's just saying, you know what, I'm old, my time is running low, and I'm just going to start saying everything that needs to be said. And he's really saying it, and some people are, really liking that, and some people, I guess, aren't. But I think we're going to start seeing more of that splitting up of the party. Okay. And the 12th house is the house of what's going on subconsciously. This is challenges. This is losses. Okay, the Three of Wands, when it's upright, it's all about being creative. It's about creativity and being able to express that. But when it's reversed, it's lacking. There is a block. There is a creative block. This can be communication issues. It can also be setbacks. But I think her challenges right now is that she's being stifled, and whatever she would normally use her creativity, however, whatever that means, she's not able to do that right now. And it's a huge challenge. It's challenging her. The solutions that she would normally be able to come up with for whatever it is that she's going through, those are not going to work for her in 2025. And so she's very much going to feel challenged. She's going to feel like things are working against her. Things are going to be postponed. Things are going to be pushed back. It's going to be a year of resistance, I'm feeling, definitely, for her for 2025. Okay, you guys. Well, I hope that you liked that reading. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. And again, if you are interested in these cards, click on the description box down below. There's a link to my website. On my website is links to all of the cards. Okay. And also in my description box is a link to join my members only club. And if you join that, that gets you access to our members only lives. The next one we have coming up is coming up this Saturday, December 16th. The time is posted on a post on my page, so go check that out. And finally, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please consider clicking that little circle right there and subscribing, and that way you can hang out with me. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.